All right. A few updates in the level design. A few things I've been working on. Let me change this to lit. Um, these LED strips that I've been putting around the level just to kind of give it a techno vibe. Um, yeah, the arena itself kind of looks old school Romanesque dungeon arena feel. Um, with the kind of a futuristic element in it. So the LED light strips, I have them attached to a point light here. So you get that blue hue kind of on the rocks behind it. I have these torches I've added, little blue LED strips around the perimeter of these gates. These red banners around the arena. I'm still working on how it's going to look up here on this observation tier. Up here, just have this kind of standalone red fabric up there. The next thing I'm going to be working on is when a wave starts, I want these gates to open automatically, and I want to maybe add a little bit of audio to that, some gates creaking open, and have a portal on the inside the enemies are spawning from. Right now, I just have these static meshes here that I have to manually adjust. And I'd like for it to be a built-in game mechanic that these open and close between waves. So that is what I'm going to be working on in this section. Kind of have a list of steps over here that I'm going to be following. Hopefully it'll uh, be pretty straightforward for the purposes of this video. So we'll go ahead and get into it. I know I'm going to eventually need my wave manager, so I'm going to close all of these other tabs to the right. I'm going to open up this. These are static meshes currently. I need to convert them to a blueprint. I'm going to go and pull up the static mesh just in case I need that. Don't need that socket. That's kind of this for the bottom left here is where the pivot point is of the static meshes. So we will start by creating a folder in my main folder here. I think I will put that in my maps folder. Uh, da, 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 da. We'll do. I may make a folder for it later. I'll just leave it in my maps folder for now. A new blueprint class of type actor. We'll just call this BP underscore gate. We'll get started here. So we're going to need to add a few components to this blueprint. For one is the static mesh. We will any children of this blueprint, we will assign the gate to that. I'll just call it SM for static mesh. This gate has two of these doors just mirrored. So I'm going to actually need two static meshes, one for door left and one for door right. We'll go ahead and add an audio component as well. And we'll call that just audio gate SFX for sound effects. Does not need to be parented under that. There we go. We'll parent everything under the default scene. Alright, for my static mesh door left, I'll go ahead and assign that in here. So I think that was SM small door 01. 01 here. Alright, excellent, excellent. One thing I do want to check on this static mesh is make sure it's movable. Actually, that's going to be right here under mobility. It is defaulted to movable. We'll need that because we're going to add a timeline in this blueprint, which will make it it'll make the opening of it smooth. Go ahead and compile here. All right, and we are going to leave all the rotation locations 0. That'll kind of be our master. Door right, we're going to have the same static mesh, SM small door, 0, 1. Right now they're overlapped with each other perfectly. So I'm going to mess with the location and rotation here until I get this correct. All right. So rotation. Go ahead and rotate this about the x-axis here. I believe that needs to be 180. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. So this needs to be, the z-axis needs to be a positive number. Needs to sit. Actually, I need to look on this side because that's what I'm really worried about. Again, I'm not touching door left at all. 436. Come up here. I'm going to change my perspective to top here. Move this and I'm going to change that to 295. Nope. 300. Going the wrong direction. 290. 291. 292. 293. 292 should do it. Alright, I'm going to change my perspective to left. Actually, I probably need front. Back. Okay. Alright, that's going to be my z-axis. I'm going to change that to 435. Ooh, interesting. 435.5. 435.4. 0.45. I mean, I don't know if you could get any more exact than that. Alright. I have all my rotation location set for my static mesh door right. I need to add a few variables to this blueprint. We'll go ahead and start with a Boolean value here. Lowercase b has opened. Some other logic is going to need to know that. So a Boolean there. I like using categories. I'll just put it as under a gate category here. It's default. We'll default to false, so I won't check that here. Add another float variable. We're going to need to know the open angle. The timeline's going to need that. That'll be under gate as well. I'm going to change type to float. We'll default to 85. May need to. We can adjust that later if need be. I'm going to make that instance editable. So if some gates I need to open more than others in the map, I can change that on the fly on an instance in the level. That's what that means. All right, the fun part, the magic of blueprints. I need to go to the event graph here. So I was in the viewport, got this set up nice. I go to the event graph here. So I'm going to need to add a timeline. That's the right one, I believe. We'll call it TL underscore gate open. It's what a timeline node looks like. Okay. Oh yeah, you double click these to open them. It opens up a timeline here. We're going to add a track. We'll add a float track and call it Uh, name this alpha. All right, we're going to right click in this timeline, add key to curve float. We'll start both of these, time and value at 0. We are going to add another key, and we're going to set time to 1.5, and that's in seconds. Value will be 1. Okay, so after 1.5 seconds, the value will be full. I'll go ahead and expand, zoom this in. I'm going to select both of these keys, right click. I'm going to change this to auto, I think. Be a little bit more of a smoothing effect, so it doesn't start at full speed over the 1.5 seconds. That's sort of how the timeline will work, so it's not starting off at full speed opening. All right. All right, I'm going to leave loop and autoplay unchecked. So if I close this, this is updated, and I am outside the timeline editor now. So now we're going to make a custom event. I'll get rid of these. We're going to do a custom event. Call this open gate. Looking at my notes here. Okay, we're going to add a branch. Hold B and click. I use branches all the time, so that's a nice shortcut to know. We're wanting to look at if it has opened, because if it has not, or if it has opened already, then we can ignore a lot of this logic. So true in this case would be a dead end. False, we continue. If it is false, we need to go ahead and set has opened to true. And then we need to go ahead and play this timeline from that. All right, so on the update pin, we're going to grab the static mesh door left, which is a component on this blueprint, and we are going to set the relative rotation. Relative rotation, here we go, enter. And that's going to be on the update execute pin. We're going to need to make a new rotation. So this update is going to tick through the duration of this timeline, which is 1.5 seconds. So we will do a make rotator node. The roll and pitch on this, I think we're going to leave that as 0. The z or yaw is going to be this open angle variable we created. We're going to multiply this by the alpha value, which is returning from the timeline. We're going to plug that right into the yaw here. All right, and we're going to plug in this new rotation, or this return value from make rotator into new rotation. And we're going to do the same exact thing for the door on the right. Set relative rotation. We're going to plug this execution right into that. We'll do those simultaneously. And let's see. So let me look at the viewport again. Okay, so rotation wise, I need to look perspective. Okay, the z-axis here and z-axis here. Actually, I think, okay, even though they're mirrored, I believe they're going to use the same exact rotation. So I'm going to take this output and plug that into new rotation. We can adjust that if that's not right, but I believe it is. All right, here I want to play the audio as well. I don't want to do it on update or finished. I want it to start as soon as it starts opening. So I'm actually going to need to revise this. Let me format these. I think I'll do a sequence node here, not a delay. Sequence node. I'll plug this in sequence. We'll do this because I want it to happen simultaneously. I want the sound to play as soon as the gates start to open. If I do it on update, I think that'll just, I honestly don't know the result of that, and I don't want it to play the audio once it's finished. So I think this is the right play here. I'm going to drag this audio component out into my graph. I think it's just called play. And we will play that immediately starting. Reformat my graph here. I believe that is the right call. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set the actual sound here. Pretty sure I have some gates opening sounds. Let's see what we got here. Nope. Can't find one that does a full 1.5 seconds. I think what I'll do, I'll play one of these loops. I really like the sound of this one. So I will add that. And then once finished, I think I will stop that loop. Do stop. So once this timeline is finished, I think that'll work how I want it to. Reformat, I believe. I need to apply my attenuation settings, which is basically just you can't hear the gate opening and closing at full volume across the map. So it's kind of important for immersion. I have a few different presets here. We'll do. I think my turret build destroy will work because my range is pretty big on that one. I want to be able to hear gates from a pretty far distance away, pretty much the whole map. Yeah, we'll do that. I can change that later if I need to, but I think that'll be good. Okay. All right, I think that is all I need for the blueprint gate. So now I want to bind all of this in my wave manager. So on wave start, or when a round starts, I want to call this function open gate. I forget. On wave start is a delegate, meaning I'm not going to have to change anything in my wave manager. I'm gonna bind open gate here. Let's see, it's gonna be in begin play. I need to so as soon as the map spawns, the gate spawn, and all of that, I will bind it here on begin play, which is the beginning of life for this BP gate. So I want to get all actors of class of type BP wave manager. So there's one wave manager in each level. So I'll just do get. It can be index 0 because there's just one. Doesn't matter. Branch. Need to do an is valid check. Is valid. Okay. If it's valid, continue. If not valid, it'll be a dead end here. So I need to drag off of this pin because that's my wave manager output here. So I need to assign on wave start, which is a delegate. That'll be on the true. All right, and from this bound event, that will call open gate. So basically that means on wave start, it'll send out these delegates, and since this is bound to that, it'll look through all of my delegates and fire these. So it will fire my open gate custom event here. All right, now the fun part, I get to test this in the level. So right now these are just static meshes. I need to delete out, delete, delete, and we'll see this BP gate is doing everything it should be. So I'm literally just going to drag this out into the level. This is the side I want to view, so I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to align this in the level. Bring this up. I think that's about how I want it. Make sure my actually that might be lined up perfectly. Excellent. All right, moment of truth. Okay. So if you heard that, I heard the gate opening sound, but nothing opened. So that's interesting. I'll go ahead and ready up. Holy moly. Um, so I think this worked. I need to watch that again. Couple of issues here. I don't need to play that sound in the beginning. I'm just gonna watch the left door. Okay. Two things. The left door is perfect. May want to lower the angle just a little bit. Obviously, there's an issue with my right gate. Alright, I love it. So playing at game start, I think the issue is that it's probably an auto activate somewhere in here. So I'm just going to search auto. Yes, boom. Alright, issue 1 out of 3, I believe to be fixed. The second issue was the audio playing too long, which I thought this finished stop would handle that, but apparently not. Yeah, it took me a minute on this one, kind of gone back and forth with AI, kind of helped me troubleshoot this. But instead of stop, there is a fade out option, which I haven't used before. Expand that. I'll see how that works. We'll do a fade out duration. We'll do 0.3 seconds. Set the fade volume level to 0. I don't know, linear is probably fine. Just a straight fade out. Alright, so that's 2 of the issues. 2 of the 3. The third issue was the door teleporting up and to the right a little bit, or a lot of bit. And I think the issue here is in this make rotator, I'm using the same for the left and right. So really I'm overriding, let me see, the X, the roll. Yeah, so this 180, I need to make a new rotator with this set to 180 because I'm totally overriding that here in the event graph. So what I will do, I'll make a separate make rotator here. Control D for duplicate. Again, another handy tool here. I'll plug in the same Z yaw and change my roll here to 180 to match the door right. Reformat my nodes. All right, and that's issue 3 out of 3. Let's see if I got them all right. Okay, play. Crusader. Okay, no audio in the beginning. Very good. Issue 1 out of 3, correct. So close. Okay. The audio still played too long. That almost worked, except it opened in the wrong direction. And actually, no, that's right. I want it to open inward, so the door on the left did not open in the way I wanted it to. Okay, not bad. Close. Much, much closer. Alright, so 2 more fixes. We'll start with the audio first. Alright, how do I want to do this? I think the issue is it's a looping audio cue, so I think there's a little bit of conflict here. I may have to try to find an audio that's closer to 1.5 seconds, but I want to be able to use this without having to trim any audio. I think it's more scalable that way. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. I don't think I'll need fade anymore. We'll do set active. We'll check new active. We'll reset. New active is false. Alright, we'll try that. Okay. Now for the rotation issue, this is going to be for my static mesh door left. I think all I need to do is to do a negate on the open angle here. So I'll do negate. Needs an execution pen. We'll do that. Plug that in. Okay. All right, let's test it. And ready up. All right, rotation's perfect. Audio is still playing too long though. So close. Okay, I have found the culprit in my gate open timeline. I had length set to 5 here. It's the track length, so I was letting that audio play for the full duration here. So I changed that to 1.5. Compile and save. I'm going to use the fade out. I'm going to play. Go to my blueprint gate. And ready up. Alright, audio stops. Doors are swinging the right way. Super, super, super happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and change out all of these static meshes for that blueprint gate. And then we'll do one more test before closing this out. Alright, I'm going to put these, organize these under the gameplay folder to stay organized. Hold Alt and click to duplicate that blueprint. Auto named it to BP Gate 2 there. Get this aligned just right. Okay. Alt, drag out. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. Move this into position with the other gates. Delete these. Delete. Delete. Moving into position here. Excellent. It's actually good. Delete these static meshes out. Duplicate the gate again. Click, Alt, drag. We'll leave it. Drag this blueprint gate into position. I think I got it right the first time. Duplicate the gate again. Rotate 90 degrees. We're going to skip the hero spawn gate. Move this blueprint gate into position. Again, delete these static meshes out. All right. Very, very cool. A bit more alignment here. Good enough. And move it back. That's just about right. All right, save. Let's see all of this in action. Play, Crusader, start. All right, all gates in position. Ready up. Oh my goodness. Perfection. Love it. Awesome, awesome. All right, I'll end this session here. I'm very happy with my automatic gates and sounds, and it brought this to life. Love all my LED strips and banners and floating embers. It's really bringing this map alive. Awesome.